iya.
Sige, banyak keuntungan lah pokoknya.
Tapi aku baru pertama kali nyobain loh kemarin. Ternyata emang enak banget saat nyobain.
Dapat. Style, even in the XP, he can be the carry for the team.
Yep.
Mostly he goes utility though. I mean, even when they won against RSG, SG, that crazy game that they came back from, that was under Frederick.
You know what I love? I always say this about the XP lane as this last pick. It's going to be the Claude here for AP Brent. What I love about the XP lane, man, is the development of that lane alone and how much impact it has currently in the meta. And even if you discuss the versions of XP laners, right? You have that back lane, focus-centric kind of heroes. Khalid can be one of them. We just saw this also from the last series work really well. Or even, you know, the pretty much the zoning potential. That's why the Terizla is so hot. Yuzhong was so, you know, so popular for a while. He's kind of fallen off a little bit in terms of priority for the XP lane, but I like the dynamic we have currently.
Alright, for Team Flash right now, after having the Khalid, I would say that the question of is he gonna be, where's the XP lane? Yeah, you have the Khalid. But for Team AB Brand, it's not settled yet because you have an Arlet, and Arlet can go for the roaming duties. And with that being said, having an Arlet here actually helps with the penalty zone that you just mentioned. You mentioned like the Terizla earlier on, Naisu, and I think that having a penalty zone ultimate here for AB Brand can actually be a disaster for Team Flash. And seeing that also the Dicky is banned, I don't know why not just stack up crowd control. Maybe at Terizla I'm calling it out with you, and maybe also I would expect AB Brand to go for a Fredrin.
I'm even looking at the Minotaur right now, man. You know, if one of the teams want to go with that, again with their, you gotta ban it out. You got it, right? Because even the Diggy was banned out here, so they kind of want to narrow some of these options. And once again, referencing what we saw from the roamers alone, we know that both of them even like to play, you know, the Kufra, for example. So really, setup potential could work either way. But you know, I wouldn't leave it up to just if AP Brent actually wanted to park an Arla in the roam. We've actually that's happened before. So who's to say it is for sure going to go in the XP lane right now?
Well, would you think with me right now that Team Flash or Team AB Brand should be afraid of Lolz's Chu?
I think usually I would have to agree, but the fact that they already have Claude and Arlet as well, some of these great heroes, to deny any sort of full lockdown, you know, going for the Purify and the Claude would already kind of force you to not go Cho, already deny the Cho way. So I think for Flash, it would actually be scary for Flash if Lolzy picked up the Cho. It's countered already.
Yeah. Well, there's the answer.
And now
Right now, as I mentioned, right, this is Rome, a hero that Ogun likes to go with. It's funny too because you know the confidence of Ogun. I don't know if you guys caught the tier listing of roamers previously. You know, so
he doesn't want to overrate himself.
He doesn't want to overrate himself. But you got to be honest, Ogun is up there with some of the best right now currently. Interesting. Here's that Team Flash flavor.
I love it.
Look,
I love it.
At this moment, exact moment, no Purify is enough whatsoever, Super Marco.
Who was it backstage that said Tigreal and Lu Yi? There was someone at some point that said this. I don't know if it was, maybe it was Wolf LaFell, I don't know. But it was one of the analysts out there.
One of the dudes.
One of the guys.
One of the guys backstage. I just remember, Mr. Mao.
Mr. Mao.
I had breakfast with him the day I landed. No, the day I landed in the Philippines.
Okay.
With Zia and with Zia. And
With Zia.
With Zia as well. And then Pika. But we were talking about this. They were like, yo, Loyi can work. I would really wait to maybe pull off a Loyi, maybe? I don't know. But then we had a full conversation of like, why it won't work.
Why
so
won't it work?
No. And now we're seeing it for Team Flash. So
he's probably, wherever
Mr. Mao
Mao
is like, yo,
I'm happy.
I told you, Zia. That's what Mr. Mao is saying. I can guarantee you.
Dude, just think about it. No, I gotta do it this way. Imagine the 5-man implosion.
What does Brody does?
That too.
5-man implosion
into the Louis. I don't actually. I forgot what her her skill is called, actually. I haven't seen her in forever, man.
It's been a while.
It's been a
a
while.
hot while, man. You're right.
Okay, real quick, Yasu, take us through the lineups here, as you can see.
Okay, so I've called it out for Team AB Brain to stack up more crowd control, but it seems like Team Flash also got that note, having that Lu Yi for the first time we see it with us in the M5. Also, having Lolzy on that Tiger, I would say that every setup from Team Flash will be perfectly executed. There's no way out once the area crowd control starts from the side of Team Flash, which justifies the Diggy ban.
Well, we're going to find out here as we load up into the Land of Dawn. It's the Filipino champions versus the Singaporean champions as they head into game number 1 here in the last best of 3 for day number 5 in the M5 group stage. Both teams getting set up here in the rotation. We'll really have to see, Yasu, how everything you broke down there falls into place with these early setups, these early rotations, with this interesting, as I would say, lineup, especially from Team Flash.
Well, Ogwayne for sure will be a pain for Team Flash because there's no mobility whatsoever that can move around there. Jay, in the early game damage, he can burst old baby Brain down, and not just that, the engage is happening after using the ult of the Lu Yi, repositioning, and look at Flap, he's just losing a lot of HP, and that's what we got used to see with Ademir and with Khalid being on the damage.
Chain CC, a knock-up, and another. From the Tyrant and a solo kill down below. Ademir survives with 1 HP. So to answer your question, yeah, he's pretty lethal on the Khalid. He solo killed Flap.
Yeah, that was not what I was expecting, you know, under the 2-minute mark from Team Flash, but that is a great start to them. And the fact that you get the XP lane, where we were talking about this difference between the XP laners, how they kind of have this impact on the game, that's a great start in the hands of Ademir, and how he'll be able to actually be this impactful role early on into that first turtle.
Well, breaking down the draft even more, I cannot help but to wonder what will happen when we see the next turtle. What will happen in the objectives generally and the neutral objectives especially, because having that heavy spin, also having Hades on the Guinevere will make both these junglers immune when it comes to taking that retribution down. Let's see together what's going to happen. In the bot lane, everything now is settled because Ademir has drawn the line for Flap easy.
Okay, a lot of these waiting for that level 4 available. Turtle's now going to spawn. Positioning too. Hold on, mid lane, Lolzy should be fine, but he's going to be quite low. So he's probably going to go ahead, clear this up, get back. Might have to fight this out still for the turtle. Both teams kind of getting in position. It's probably going to go for a reset. You can see as well, Lolzy making his way back. Right now, AP Brand wants to kind of take their time here. Everybody pretty much has that level 4 except Ogwyn, but he's going to jump in. Not sure if they want to follow up just yet. It is going to be Hades that he pushes back though.
He wants to have...
It's final slash on the Hades. Oh, spatial migration, Flap TZ. Another sacrifice. Kyle should be able to secure it. Few is the one who does. Kyle TZ, an uncharacteristic miss, but it was forced out of him by Hades.
Blinded by the colors, Flap TZ goes down once again. Oh, repositioning right now. Lolzy was missed in that team fight, and also not to mention that Hades was prevented from moving and using his mobility once Ogwyn jumped on him.
I'm actually really curious how, you know, they're going to play around, because if you think about it, using the diversion from Lu Yi, if you can actually find the right placements for that and actually divert, then that can play a huge role in the later portions of the game, right? I mean, especially with the way that the bushes work here, and you won't necessarily be able to spot some of these setups out. That could work in favor, and I think that's once again why also Ogwyn, integral part here on this Kufra. He's going to have to find the setups himself, but really that damage potential from Lu Yi alone, paired up with the implosion setups, is what I feel like AP Brent has to be most cautious of. Not only that, but the fact that you have like kind of this layered opportunity, right? Whether it's Ademir, whether it's the spatial migration from Hades, there's so many things that they also have to be concerned about, whereas they're trying to build up time, especially here in the hands of Super Marco. We've seen him pick up this Claude. How's the items looking real quick, though?
I'll speak of the items right now in a bit, but let me just say that Team AB should also be concerned of the late game groupings and also the early game groupings, because this is the moment that Jay will shine the most. And speaking of that, defense should be be quite easy for Team Flash because everyone will be just stacked up when it comes to defense against Team Flash. Not just that, having the Beatrix will change a lot. Oh, this is a transition here. And speaking of the items, real quick, it looks really good for Super Marco. Everything is safe so far, I would say. So the Demon Hunter sword is coming, but I think he's gonna go out.
Good read by Marco. Wow, pops in that BMI in the back just for safety. And Team Flash, they'll punish by going for the turret now. It's going to be traded, exchanged with a little bit of a neutral objective take in the bottom side of the map by AP Brent. Turret for neutral objective turtle. Who's it worth for?
Yeah, who's that worth for, Yasu, here with that trade?
Look, I would. Oh, did someone transfer? I saw Ademir flashes into that bush. But anyways, I would actually choose the turret in any day of my life because it's a turret under 5 minutes, and he got all the gold of that turret. So Vanix right now can switch lanes and can go to the bot lane, having all his team assets being served towards him, goes and takes one more turret. So now the mission is more easy for Flash, so I wouldn't prefer that turtle.
Okay, well, right now, AP Brand holding 2. We know that they like to usually, for most part, when you're watching AP Brand, they like to secure those turtles here, 3 for 3. Okay, they're going to go up top again.
Super Marco gonna get chunked. It seems like there's a disconnect here from Ademir and the rest of the team that could maybe have been a kill. AP Brent now rotating up top. Meanwhile, down below, Hades going B1. Easy! 3 times this game, the 3 kills Team Flash have are all on Flap.
Flash having a tough time.
Yeah, and another turret can be stacked for Team Flash. It's easy for Hades at the bot lane.
Okay, so with that, they still get the second turn in the bottom lane. They're going to work with the space.
Heavy spin, not connecting. It's a good flicker out by Vanix. He picks up the BOD. That's a power spike for him.
Okay, it's interesting the way things are working right now, right? I mean, necessarily you're expecting a lot of these setups to happen, but so far it just, neither team has found that just yet. But Team Flash, the fact that they have these early kills for them, building momentum, they've got this small gold lead now, that should actually transition really well. Even if, let's say, they give this next turtle up, right? 3 for 3 for AP Bren, Team Flash ultimately will be in a good position for that for the first Lord dance here, Yasu.
Yeah, if you give me that balance and you ask me, will you choose turtles again or turrets? Look at how things going for Team Flash. They took the turrets, and right now they might even take the.
That's a dangerous
really
spot.
Good position.
Implosion.
Oh,
Vanix.
Oh,
Vanix. Okay, gonna get pinned down now with a Raging Sandstorm as well. Quite a confusing play, but a Violent Requiem there will be used up. Baptiste falls for the 4th time this game, but it's traded for Vanix. I think Brent are happy with that trade.
Yeah, seems like it. Again, this should just be another turtle that they're going to be able to secure, unless Hades actually wants to contest it himself. So Kyle Teasy working on that buff. He's going to go ahead and get it held there, but it will reset. Right now, once again, it's a trade. Flap Teasy, though, kind of in a sticky situation.
Again in the mid lane, Tyrant's Revenge. Shay gonna give it a flicker route. That's the dispersion and the rotation. The outplay with the knock-up from Lolzy. The knock-up slays Super Marco 5-1 in this game. Hades jumps in with a spatial migration. Not able to find anything. Final slash right now with the Requiem as well. Gonna be used up, and the Implosion connects onto 3. The heavy spin saves it, but Hades still finds the retry. AP Pred are losing out on all parts of the map.
Oh my God, 2 times the marksmen were given on a silver platinum. Look here, taking that
What's
turtle.
happening?
What's happening?
Combo.
With a wombo combo, and Team Flash are dominating.
5,000 gold lead. Don't blink or you'll miss them. It was the catchphrase here for Team Flash. Holy moly.
Oh my God. Also, one more turret here going down. We are just 8 minutes through, and speaking of AB Bren, actually, you are the expert here. Nice, so you can tell me, have you seen AB Bren fall that badly? But before that, let's go and see what happened in the third fight. The final slash hand landing on Hades, but look at the ultimate. Lolzy was just a monster. He was just a monster, and as I told you, in the groupings, whenever there's a lot of people stacked with each other at a certain place, this is what serves Team Flash the most.
Hey man, expert or not, I'm just happy to see Tigreal shining and another pick, Louis Yi, come and shine right now. Like, that is exciting enough for this, you know, for this matchup. Now, my biggest question though is AP Brand. How do they adapt to this? And if the game goes on, you know, let's say 18 plus minutes, how does this lineup still execute what it's been doing the past 9 minutes, right? For the most part, they're in a good lead. And I said this before they had that amazing fight. They were going to be in a good position for the first objective take with that Lord. Now I think AP Brand's going to be the one obviously hesitating, trying to find space to work around like they are now.
Well, look, I have an answer for that. I think that if Flap TZ goes in and he just distracts enemy and he is the sacrificial lamb from Team AB Brand, at this point only, he can distract Team Flash from having this solid composition, and at this point, particularly Ogwin should go in and Super Marco follows upon it, because Super Marco so far just died one time, and that's a good thing for him because there's a lot of pressure happening on Team AB Brand. If Super Marco landed his Blazing Duet in a really good moment, having everyone stacked by Ogwin, things are gonna look really good for Team AB Brand.
All right, well that one, either way, if they're able to hold on, that's one of the biggest things, right? Given this situation, given the gap here, Lolzy was going to get spotted out. So Lord, nearly half health. Do they actually want to press this and go for it? So they're going to go ahead and hold it. It is going to reset. AP Bren getting in position. This is one of the important parts, right? Also, Golden Staff just being picked up by Super Marco. Like you mentioned too, is it a sacrificial lamb or not for Flap TZ? Oakwood goes in.
Target revenge and the rage. Now it's going to be Lolzy who flickers forward, but isn't able to find anything. Flap TZ goes for the final slash earlier and takes everyone out of the heavy spin. Miscoordination, miscommunication happening, and Team Flash capitalized. J dispersion rotation, bringing Few back. Few's able to escape just barely, and the Hades picks up the first Lord of the game.
Wow, not following up on that final slash, even though he was the sacrificial lamb in the previous moment. Yet, AP Bren having Lolzy out of the formation, having Lolzy away from his own teammates, and even melted down. He didn't use his ult quite good enough. So, Team AP Bren, that was the window.
I was baffled. You could hear the hesitation when I was guessing that the final slash took them away from the heavy spin. What happened?
There's a disconnect here.
Yeah.
And not only that, but you gotta credit Team Flash because Adamir getting that first blood against Flap TZ, I feel like he's just been living in this nightmare so far in this game. Flap has not had a good time for this, and that was off the whims of Adamir getting that first blood, and now he's just, you know, freely riding the waves of sand around, you know, all parts of AP Bren. So even in situations like this, if they get sandwiched into a turret cut off, it's going to be troublesome for them. So with that first Lord marching in, you know, relatively you're not expecting a ton of damage to these base turrets, these inhibitor turrets, but right now it's looking interesting how they're going to go for it.
Yeah, really going out of the map. That's what I want to see. Oh, he didn't connect to it.
It's been too risky, I believe, inside of the base of AP Bren. But just the first Lord finds a Tamer's Revenge. The final slash only really connecting onto the minions. Meanwhile, all tier 2's taken and dealt with by Team Flash. A few shots from Few only onto Adamir. Team Flash will just disengage. They'll take everything in the enemy jungle, though.
Relocating is a key for Team Flash because with having that Lu Yi and having the ultimates out of the boundaries, out of the vision of Team AB Brain can actually make a solid backdoor with Lolzy's engage and also the rest of the, I would say, the back, because Team Flash are working right now as if they were one man.
Something interesting here, and that I've always said about AP Brand, even back in when, you know, it was really relevant and in ISF, the way that they liked to play it, it was usually they were securing all these objectives early on, the 8-minute to 9-minute mark. They usually got a kill, they transitioned to the first Lord, and then they dominated from there. Right now, I just feel like this Lu Yi pick and everything else, the execution from Team Flash has completely disgruntled AP Bren to the point where they're just like, man, what is going on? There's diversion after diversion. We don't know where to look, and they're struggling with it, right? So that, if that's the game plan for Team Flash to kind of just leave AP Bren guessing, then it's working right now. And if they can keep it working, Katie's going to jump in.
Spatial migration onto Kyle, still able to dash out quite easily out of that one.
Well, speaking of where to look, actually I've just have a quick look at the itemization coming from Kyle TZ. He doesn't have the gold enough, I would say. Half items coming from the side of the Akai, and he is 3K behind.
2 levels down as
Hades.
well.
Yeah, that's a gap to talk about.
Bro, this is not what you usually see from this team.
Right now, again, diversion is something, Louis, not something we usually see, but it's working wonders right now for Team Flash. And this is another Lord that can just go in the hands of Team Flash.
For free, the Bennett's Rage comboed in. Hades
Ugly.
used the red tree. That's perfect calculation. You might say, hey, it should be going to the jungler. No, as long as it goes to Team Flash, it's a win.
Okay, so Yasuo, since that's another Lord in the hands of Team Flash here, how's the defense looking? How's the high ground and everything else for AP Bren to defend against this next Lord marching on the top?
We have spoken a little bit about Team Flash when they go to defense, but they don't look like they are going to defense anytime soon. AB Bren, if we look at them, they have that crowd control. They can push the minions away. They can make a little bit of a mess, I would say, in terms of the final slash. But is the clearance enough? I don't think so. I wouldn't recommend having a Claude to rely on in the defense phase. But that's what we have, or that's what Team AB Bren have, and that's what they should work with.
See if they can make it work for them as they get prepped up and ready. Already losing that top turret. Lord's got to be worked on. Let's see if they put the pressure here in the mid lane. Ogwyn.
Ooh, final slash, flicker, this time it connects onto the back of the blazing duet from Marco. What is perfect? It finds Anix. It's only Flap who's a sacrificial lamb. 7th time this game. If they lose a base turn, it will still be worth it for Team Flash, and that's exactly what happened.
I wouldn't
7 times, man.
7 times. That's
I
rough.
wouldn't feel good. I wouldn't feel good dying 7 times for the team, to be honest. But it seems like this is what FlapTZ have to do. But again, answering your question, Laisu, the crowd control is the only thing that can make AB Bren pull out a good defense.
Well, once again, they lost those 2 base turrets, right? We talked about this a little bit even last series with Onyx.
Regeneration. Regeneration.
We're gonna go up top. This is dangerous. Marco. Okay, he knows.
That's how you do it. That's how you utilize the jungle crepes, man.
Good check. Spot it out, right? So going back to it, FlapTZ, I feel like at this point in the game, you just got to do that. If you can, who cares about the KDA at this point, right? All he has to do is get a good final slash off. That would turn the tide of some of these fights because so far, Super Marco's actually done a pretty good job farming up, getting to where he needs to be on this squad. Given the situation, given the fact that they are down quite a bit of gold at this point, so if they're able to find some type of setup here, that could be a problem for Team Flash when things can quickly flip over. But that's why you see them really trying to find moments here. Ogwyn, even himself, looking for where is the
That's a flickering implosion. Ogwyn has tough boots. I'm not too sure if that was the right target. Ogwyn now going onto the tank as well. Oh, good final slash, no follow-up just for now. Lolzy gonna be chunked very low, but if BMI gets Super Marco all the way back. It was almost that immortality taken out by Hugh. But for Team Flash, they'll just disengage. Adamir opens up that bush, spotting Caltese in the mid lane, gonna be taken down. Heavy spin. Adamir Hades! A violent requiem, and it's instantly followed up with a dispersion. Not enough damage, but it's enough right now. Ogwyn still able to survive. Jay back with
my God.
He goes in all alone. 1v5. Jay, you're a mage. You're not an assassin. He gets the winner in time, but what was that?
That was a bad decision. That was a bad decision by Jay, and this was the window for Team AB Bren. Did you see the amount of ultimates wasted by Team Flash at this team fight?
That's when you want to feel like a hero moment, you know? It doesn't work out. So now with that, as I was just saying earlier, a moment can flip this game around. And AP Bren right now is going to go ahead and dominate this side of the Lord.
Oh my God, AB Bren are looking good on this Lord. They will take that Oh, it's not... Is it an evolved Lord? I didn't notice when did it start, but let's see together how it looked like. Well, speaking of the items, because it popped up on the screen in the middle of the team fight, I saw the plate armor is being prepared by Lolzy, which is a really good thing when you are facing that Claude. But not just that, there's more some penetration items stacking up with the Genius Wand, also following with the Holy Crystal from the Luyi. So the team, we now can see the items. So Luyi does. She is stacking up some of the penetration, but she might sell this this freeze item just to add upon more damage. The defense is one of the best cases that Team Flash can do, or like one of the best situations.
Once again, they get prepped and ready. Taking these tier 2 turrets down, they're going to work on the top side as well. Lord making its way there. AP Bren getting a position to assault the base of Team Flash. It's been 19 minutes, and in a matter of a couple minutes, they flipped this game around, finally garnering themselves a small lead themselves, again diminishing the 7,000 gold lead that Team Flash had when they were
for 14 AB Brent to go in, but yet they didn't use that Lord for taking anything more than one inhibitor turret. 19 minutes in, 20 minutes in, and this game is just getting started.
Doesn't connect. Flapteezy! Final slash, and this time it is into the heavy bin. He's found. A double. He's going to be the global representative of KDA. Doesn't matter.
KDA doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Wait, the whole game, you know, he's gone down multiple times and he waited for that moment. He got it, and now AP Brent making their way down the middle. Are they going to punch it in?
Oh, Gwen with that flicker, unable to find the combo just yet, but AP Brent taking everything. It's another final flash from Flapteezy. This time onto Hades. He buys the winner truncheon. He pops in time. Flapteezy, one last hit is all he needs. Kyle finds the shutdown. Vanix now in the back. It's an implosion in desperation. It's a wipeout for AP Brent. 0-7 win. Wow.
Very quickly, AP Brent turns things around in a matter of minutes to secure game one here against Team Flash.
I can hear the bees buzzing for Team AB Brent. A first victory here, and having their second appearance in this group, they can make Team Flash.
What the heck?
Go away.
It looked so cool until it didn't. You know, like it worked so well until just something happened. You know, I feel like at one point, man, Flapteezy, he had enough.
0-7, that's where he draws the line.
That's enough. That was enough.
0-1 all the way to 0-6, it's fine. I can take more. 0-7 down. That's where I draw the line.
But yes, as I told you, he was the sacrificial lamb of this formation. When he goes in, he just had one job, and that's to distract Team Flash.
It's a poor lamb.
That's tough, you know, when that's the course of the game. But hey, eventually, I don't know, maybe Arlon's like the new Franco in a way, because Franco's always like, oh, I miss all these hooks, but it only took one hook. But now, you get all these deaths, you play an Arlon, it only takes that one final slash, right? And that's the perfect thing. If you imagine it, it can happen. Now, once again,
If he gets MVP, bro.
Hey, maybe he should, for everything he put up with.
Maybe he's the silent MVP, but not the MVP himself.
Who's it going to be? Owen?
Marco?
Oh, Super Marco here. Again, game MVP, Super Marco, the 5-1-1 on this Claude pick,
His spell was on point, but at some point I actually said that one Purify wouldn't be enough against Team Flash, to be honest, but he went for a safer route, I would say, in terms of the emblem. He went in a little bit tanky, but look at the itemization. At some point he knew that he's not getting the gold he needs to stack up damage or to get the damage he needs, so he had to sell the armor boots that he bought earlier on today. And the final slash by Flapteezy, not at this moment, at the last one, was actually the final slash specifically for Hades, the last thing he saw in the Land of Dawn. Here we saw that Team Flash was dominating the game all the way through. They had the KDA, they had everything, they had the team fight, they had the crowd control and the burst damage, but yet they didn't have enough to close the game and to finish it for their favor. This was the window I was talking to you about. Here, Team Flash wasted a lot of their ultimates, and this was the opening for Team Brent, but they found another window.
Wow. Yeah, moments like that, you know, this is where the tides kind of started to turn a little bit. And usually, I mean, even with this, right, it's like,
no.
you didn't have to go for that. Yeah, I understand some of the logic there, but really, you know, from there, things collapsed. And that's the one that Flapteezy was waiting for, that final slash, to turn the tide even further of this game.
Yeah.
And they continued on from there.
Look at how Marco just shreds through anything. You put them in a line, you let them just sit there for a bit, they disappear. Super Marco's damage at a later stage. It's crazy because he was behind, bro.
Yeah.
He was just farming. He looked for angles to come back in the game, and I feel like that's why he's one of the top goal laners now in the world. team was losing. They had 2 kills. Nice, 2 kills. So Marco was able to do that.
Well, I can't help but to admire that final slash from Flapteasy. He actually made everyone stand against the wall, one by one, for Kyle Teasy to have his heavy spin, to have his moment, and to finish this game off. At some moment, I had this glimpse, I had this memory of seeing a Tigreal making a full defense on his own, using his ultimate, zoning the minions out, but he didn't have anyone to continue the job. Phoenix was vanished from the land of Dawn. Looking here at the itemization from both teams, as I told you, Super Marco at some point knew that he doesn't have the gold enough. He does now, like, and on this statistic he does have. But on the game, during the game itself, we know that at some point Team Flash had 10k gold lead. So, and also, do you guys remember the time where he revealed that dead bush with the first kill? And also, there was the throw from I don't know if you agree with me or not, but there was a throw from Jay when he went in super aggressive for the back line, and he was revealed. If he wasn't the bush, prize will recall, but he went out.
No, that was a strat.
He was
That's assassin Loyi.
Yeah, he was trying to have that, like I said, the hero moment. Like the point was, he knew that there was multiple members quite low, and the intention there was to try to cap them off, right? Like that's really what he would want to do. But the response that time, again, how many times does the diversion work, right? Eventually, it's going to get figured out, and that's kind of what happened here as things fell into place here, Yasu.
Forgotten one.
He's definitely not going to be forgotten.
At some point it was 0-7-2 if I'm not mistaken, so having these 8 assists means that he was the turning factor at the final moments for Team AB Bren. He was the final decider with that final slash. Flapteasy, your efforts will be mentioned in history.
You said that at one point he was 0-7-2. This proves that he was 0-7-8 by the end of the game. It still was 0-7.
That was the line, you said.
Bro, KDA literally doesn't matter. I've seen Maloyski do this every game in MPLID, and now it's Flap.
Well, looking at you here, you can actually tell when did he deal all that damage, because at some point, yes, he was in the back lines dealing or like throwing those second skills, but was he effective for me? I didn't see you make those like moves, but it was mostly for me. I was focused on Flapteasy and also, to be honest, on Kyle with their combo thing, but View seems like he pulled off that magic. He was holding the strings, and he was the maestro behind all these kills for Team AB. Brent.
Yeah, again, you look back at this game, this should have been Team Flash's game, right?
All right.
Again, looking at the lineup too, loved it. I love the, in a way, you know, some experimentation happening here. The fact that Tigreal comes out, Rui Yi, something we're not expecting. But hey, Team Flash is a team that likes to do these kind of things, right? But before we head to game 2, we're gonna have to go and throw it over once again to Manjin on stage for an interview.
Thank you so much to our shoutcasters. That was a hard fight. That was a hard game number 1 for AB Bren. Anyways, we have here the M4 World Champions, Echo. So we need to speak in Tagalog first, okay? Alright, Carl, M5 na kayo, Carl. M5 watcher po. Watcher. Alright. They're finally here in M5 as supporters, as viewers. Let me ask you guys, how is the M5 experience so far? Kumusta, JP?
Sobrang gusto po ng mga laban, saka gusto ko po kasi maganda panahon.
Gusto mo, he likes the banters. He likes the trash talk. Alright. Now I have a question maybe for Sanford. Sanford, which team surprised you the most based on the performance? Naintindihan mo naman yun, di ba? Okay.
Friend po.
Friend, may iba bang team? Do you have any other teams that you like the performance?
Team po ni Fly Solo, yun. Deus Food po.
Deus Food. Alright, Deus Food. Nandun si Kid Bomba. Alright. Now I have a question for Carlito the Great. Carl. Oh, you have fans here, Carl, ha? Alam mo na yan, Carl. Okay. So, Carl, you are former teammates with Flap, View, and Coach Ducky. They are playing right now what is your message to them?
Good luck sa inyong tatlo dyan, tsaka sa mga bago niyong kasama. Pagpatuloy niyo ang ginagawa niyo, alam kong kayang-kaya niyo manalo.
Kayang-kaya nyo manalo. Okay, let me talk to maybe Sanji. Sanji, of course, and dalawa na kayo sumagot nito, alright? Sanji, who do you think is going to win the M Series? Fearless forecast. Walang kabayas-bayas, Sanji. AP Bren. AP Bren, okay. How about Benny? Benny, fearless forecast. Who's gonna win the M Series?
AP friend or blacklist.
AP Bren or Blacklist. All right. One question. Who do you think is the dark horse of the tournament? The dark horse of the tournament. Who wants to answer? Maybe JP. Who's the dark horse for you guys of the tournament?
Sport or parang nag-shuffle po lahat kami sa tapos mag-aaral po kami ng team building. So medyo relax lang po kami ngayon.
Hindi ka na ngayon.
Tigil pa rin po syempre.
All right. There you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Echo. Your M4 champions. There you have it. Now let's continue the game. Let's pass it over to game number 2 to our shoutcasters.
Thanks so much, Manji, and also thank you to Echo. You know, we watched them walk in earlier. Yasu, I know you were surprised, man, that they were actually here. Yasu wasn't lying. Yeah.
Actually, for me personally, before the tournament begins, I was kind of surprised that Team Echo isn't in the tournament because at some point I thought that it's inevitable for them to be. I'm not saying that the other Philippine teams are bad or anything, but having a chance to defend your own title, back-to-back champion, that was a dream. I think it was too good to be true. And Team Echo, better luck next time. I don't know, seeing them here as guests isn't more.
Echo, and you know, a lot of people were hoping that they could go and defend their title, but still, there's so many just good teams right now.
Yeah.
I feel like the competitiveness in the esport of MLBB has risen magnitudes over the past year alone, you know, and that's the beauty of even the wild card. And I always say this after getting to experience it, is that's the great thing about it. You see these regions rising through, and you know, you have to go back and look at game 1. Team Flash, a team right from Singapore here, holding a very big lead against the Philippine champions, AP Bren. That already is actually, to me, quite a statement. Now, was it with a lineup that you typically don't see? Yes, but that's what makes Team Flash awesome. I mean, that's, again, when you look back at their road here, they won some of those games, obviously, with some of these unorthodox picks that work for them. And I think that's what makes them special as a team.
And actually, speaking of the regions who are now uprising and showing really great performance on the international stage, we cannot neglect the fact that Kyrie, earlier on today, there was a quote where he spoke well about Team Homeboys. And now, we have just heard from JB that he also recommends that they might be the dark horse. So, again, as you said, there are a lot of teams in this tournament that can turn things around, and it's not only about the champions defending titles, it's about, I'm not going to say a new era.
For game 2, I'm going to ask you because, you know, I know even when you were play-by-play on the team fights there, it was kind of crazy, right? It was chaotic in a way in its own right. That happened there for Team Flash. It fell in place. So do you think for game 2 they kind of go with one of those interesting lineups again to get the lead against AP Bren?
Surprisingly enough, I think again, right? I mean, the drafts look very experimental in game 1, but that's exactly what gave them the lead at the start. You're right. It feels like AP Bren were just not ready for that kind of draft in the early stage of the game. They didn't know how to really properly react to the diversions rotating across the map. But I feel like now it's readable. If you go for the same thing, AP Bren know exactly what's coming at them, right? That was their shot, man. The execution, it's always like this for a lot of the newer teams coming into the M Series. They get a good lead. Triple Esports yesterday as well against Onyx, a tournament favorite. Yep. Same thing that's happening now, but they're not able to fully utilize the gold lead they get in the early game to take the game all the way.
Just looking at AP Bren in general, especially the history over the past months that they've been playing, I feel like in a way when they have this very dominant play style for a while, especially in the early game, objectively, teams have kind of caught on that in their own way, right? And if it's these kind of drafts that you're not used to seeing, and it causes enough kind of confusion and your tempo is going to be messed up. That's kind of what happened to AP Bren there. And on Team Flash, we know too that there are some of these pocket picks, if you will, that work for them. Even Hades alone, we do know that he likes to specialize and likes to pick up the Amon here, right? Can work for him, Hellkurt, stuff like that. But, you know, in this situation, given how everything's kind of fallen into place here, is it too risky, Yasu, to go something like that? Should Team Flash go with something that is more, a little bit like, if you will, I don't know, what is standard, you know,
No,
anymore?
it's,
Because really there's so many different strategies you can actually pull through. So is that something Team Flash might want to consider here for Game 2?
Well, at some point, I kind of had a similar conversation with some of the pro players, and I've asked them, not the same exact question, but a similar one. And that one was, do you guys take your pick if you trust it enough that even if the coach doesn't trust? So let's say, for example, maybe that Louis wasn't agreed by the coach, but the player himself knew, or Jay himself knew, that it is the time for me to shine with that pick, of Louis. So this is the question actually to coming through. Do Team Flash have more stuff hitting for us? Because maybe that was like their card to play against AB Bren. So far, I don't think that we will see a target ban upon such these, like one of these here. Maybe find a way to work with them. So maybe they will give them the Louis again. They will open up everything for Team Flash, but yet they will have now an idea about how to deal with it. Not the way they did in the draft, but maybe in the macro.
Yeah, it's a little weird for me because, like, with that last draft, if you're AP Bren, you're kind of thinking, like, okay, well, what are they going to pull through, right? Like, what is going to show up from Team Flash? Even just looking at their run through the group stages, and again, I think that makes even the draft approaching it, you kind of just try to cover your bases for the most part. First phase, you see a lot of this, you know, similar heroes being banned out here. We'll see if AP Bren wants to approach that, how, again, they want to adjust. If you look even how Game 1 went, it didn't start too hot for AP Bren, right? They struggled technically in the early game.
And it started by Flap. At the bot lane. He was so pressured by the Khalid pick. And actually at some point, Team Flash, they got inhibitor turrets, right? They did get in some of the inhibitor turrets of Team AB Bren. So having so many risks, or like paying for the facing the consequences of some of their actions is the thing that cost them the game, but it wasn't the draft and the way they executed it. But hit us with this fun fact.
Well, like I talked about before the matchup, the greatness, it runs in their blood, right? AP Bren's Ogwyn was is Pando's cousin. He's the one that actually got them into, back in Season 10, I think it was, where it was recommended to Ogwyn to join the squad, and look where they are now.
Two-time gold medalist this year, just this year, by the way, right? Not even counting the previous gold medal with Ducky, Few, and Carl Teasy.
Why don't you try my cousin? That was the question. Try my cousin.
That's exactly what Pando said, right? Yo, you need a roamer?
I got
My
a cousin.
I got it. I know a guy.
You know what's funny? Because back in
I know
I know a guy. Yasu would know this because over in MENA, there's some teams out there that have like 3 brothers on a team.
Troll Tarzan, right?
Yeah. There's
and
there's
in
another
Axe,
team.
In Axe, there are 3. It's a family team.
It's a family team.
Brothers, not even cousins. Brothers.
Yeah, and they literally, last I heard, they're like, yeah, the 4th team member, he's in training, and he's like really young, so
I mean, it makes sense, right? You already have a brotherly bond. You
Talk
already
about
have
synergy.
like synergy. It's literally in the family. It runs in the family. The synergy,
Well,
the chemistry.
it works,
Yeah.
apparently.
Even in Indo, we have twins in the team. Bigatron,
Bigatron, right?
Yeah.
Matt and Max back in the day. Then
Yeah.
he moved to Secret.
Minuteman.
Minuteman. Oh,
Right?
my. We always
Throwing it back.
There's always gonna be brothers, man. There's always gonna be twins as well. Malaysia
Gotta
and
be.
Indo, twins.
I wonder actually how many stories there are out there. It's like, yeah, just try
Yeah.
my brother, try my cousin,
Yeah.
you know?
We also have an example in the desk, backstage.
Who?
The twins.
Who's the
They
twins?
look exactly like the same.
Who is it?
Gideon Q and Lavelle.
Yeah.
That
actually
works
makes,
too.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
They could be
actually.
brothers, man.
I believe their title, like Gideon Q's title, is the English Lavelle,
He's
and Lavelle's title is the Malaysian Gideon Q.
the Malaysian Gideon Q.
Yeah.
But then it gets even crazier, though. We're talking about casters here.
Yeah.
About our good old
What are we
friend
getting at
Jay's
Jays
Jays
and
Arashi.
Arashi. Oh man. It's a shame
Shout out
that
to you guys, by the
Shout
way.
outs to Jays and Arashi. I actually worked with Jays and MPLID for the longest time.
Yeah.
I haven't met Arashi though in SG.
Nah, Jays was just my roommate over for the wild card.
Yeah, he
I
did
told
cast
him
for the
to-
wild
yeah.
card. It was
Man.
great, man.
Missed that guy.
He actually shifted to analyst, yeah?
Yeah. Well, as we wait for the draft here, we talk about
Anything.
synergy, families setting up, but it's true, right? I mean, at the same time, you see a lot of things fall into place here. Now, for Team Flash, once again, this is a team really that when you're trying to, I feel like even Wolf, in a way, would have some difficulty trying to conceptualize what they want to go for, but we are going to be jumping into the draft now for game number 2. How does Team Flash adjust to get us to a game 3 ahead against AP Brent?
Well, actually, before the draft starts, I wanted to say something, and it goes like this. Since we have the time, why don't we throw out some strange picks, yet effective? For me, I want like each one of us to say a certain pick. I would say Granger. Mirko?
Ranger, wow.
Yeah, like something wild, something we didn't see yet effective. Like we saw Imperial with the Yusun.
So I have to pick my favorite hero, or do I have to pick a hero that's random?
Your favorite hero, but not played. Like one of those who are forgotten.
Yisun Shin, I've seen it in the wild card,
Yeah.
but not here, right? I
Yeah.
would love to see Yisun Shin get played here, the main stage. Last time we saw it at was it Zane?
Zane.
Yeah.
In the main
I
stage,
think
it was
so,
Zane,
yeah.
yeah. Okay.
And Naisu, what's your favorite? What's the forgotten hero for you that you want to see?
It's not really forgotten anymore, you know. It's back in the meta.
Ah.
Back in the meta, it's Gord. Anytime Gord gets picked up, I'm happy.
He
you know?
mystic gushes whenever Gord gets picked up.
Yeah.
Well,
Gosh.
speaking of the draft right now, we can see that the first phase of drafting is almost done. Team Flash got again banning that Phoebus and also not sitting up for Nolan whatsoever. They are sitting up for something else. And this time, it's not forgotten. This time, Arlet is banned by Team Flash.
Okay, I think that's a good start here for some of these things falling into place. Team Flash, though, waiting for this last ban from AP Bren. With what's open, you know, because the Guinevere's taken out, you are still leaving open. Bruno, not sure if they want to go that route.
Aramis,
The Faramis is still going to be there. Valentina, of course.
Angela.
Time to draft the beat.
Joy is taken out. That's probably that's honestly that's probably one of the better ones you can go for now. Again, priority-wise here, Yasu, what are we thinking?
I would say go for the Valentina because if AB Bren right now pulls off an Angela or even a Faramis, you can have the best of both worlds. You can have the hard guard. You can also have the realm. You can have everything that Team AB Bren has for their first picks. But we might see something surprising. We might see actually a Bruno. So, but I still stand with my Valentina.
Bruno definitely could work out here. Maybe a Faramis could also be picked up by Team Flash or AP Bren.
Yes.
Definitely need to think about that. And they go for the Valentina to try to predict or stop that Faramis pick. Even if it does get picked up here, they will be able to counteract that. But I do have a fun fact.
What's the fun
What?
fact?
The hero that Flash decided to choose to respect this game was the hero that went 0-7. It was the Arlen, man. I mean,
KDA doesn't matter.
It shows you exactly 0-7, but the impact, it was visible to Team Flash. They were like, damn.
Dude, if people are playing the ranked games and saying, hey, I heard on the broadcast KDA doesn't matter. That's all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Did you guys see how much pleasure did I have when
I
they
did.
got the Valentina?
I saw you jump, and the Bruno pick
That's
picked
a
up as well. You can jump even more now.
whole lot of pleasure. Bruno,
Matilda as
Matilda, locked in.
Bruno, Matilda. Well, Bruno so far have proven many times that I cannot actually count that he's able to control his lane, but yet he always faced that problem against the Ixia. So maybe Flash wants to take the Ixia early now before they go to the second phase. Having the Bruno makes you have an assurance that
We sat back. Same reaction from you, nice. We just we went. Whoa, that's a signature Hades pick, bro.
Is it a man? Okay, I wasn't like I don't know. Actually, I'm like confused and at war with myself here because I'm like, is this what I was expecting or is this not? Because you know, just again looking at Team Flash, how they made it here, what they went through, and how they performed so far. This is probably a better case scenario for them to just pick it up, go with Minotaur. You got the Valentina, you can work around that. But now I'm just kind of concerned, right, for the four Hades here.
Why?
On how AP Bren wants to play this. Also the fact that, yes, you have Matilda, you know, how do you want to just put the pressure into the jungle? Oh, and the Feramis is going to be picked up.
I don't agree with AP Bren. I know they have a good draft. I know that it's all like it's strict when it comes to meta. But look here with me. Team Flash, they do have the Fanny, and there's no crowd control, no crowd control. I'm not gonna count the Matilda ult as a crowd control here. So having Hades on his Fanny and now being able to ban the crowd control heroes, maybe you'll take out the Kaja, maybe also take out what was his name? Not a Franco, a Kufra, yeah. It can work for Team Flash. They can just make the way so clear for Hades and depend on his mechanics.
Okay, so wait, you said you didn't like AP Bren's draft?
I didn't like that they don't have any crowd control, and even though they saw the Fanny, they committed to a premise and not taken a crowd control XP laner or even a tank. That's my point. Would you agree?
I gotta agree, the fact that they don't have lockdown is definitely concerning. I think also, though, from Team Flash, they were trying to bait that out. They're trying to get either a Kanja or a Kufra pick early here to really nail AP Bren down, because that should be the spearhead for AP Bren coming into the series. And the thing is, they already have a Matilda, so it gets them into a very tough spot. It's no longer flexible. Where's the Matilda gonna go? Mage? Nah.
Yeah. You know where they're going.
Indeed, yes. I agree.
You know where they're going, but that's the thing. So, like, how do you cover that base? What do you put in the jungle? What do you put in the XP lane for AP Bren to deal with this? You know, and do you really want to go ahead and just pressure the Fanny, or kind of just let it roll, you know, and then fight for the objectives later on? Because right now you can already see it. Some of the utility options are now being focused on. The box are being taken out here. Really, again, we're probably going to see it. Do they actually opt for the assassin versus assassin matchup? Could AP Bren pick up, for example, you know, the Lancelot, because Nolan's taken out? They want to go that Page. The Lancelot makes sense, right? If you want to go for an assassin, but against the Minotaur, anything that dives is scary, dude. You get countered hard. What's concerning is that Diggy hasn't been banned out, right? I mean, I don't know if they want to go for a very deep, like, Diggy Matilda mid-lane composition. That's super risky, but hey, that Keegan's Fury could definitely be handled by something like that.
You know what I want to pull out here? Flash? Trizla. Just take Trizla and everything goes down. Everything.
Team Flash.
No, it goes down for AP Bren.
So they ban Trizla.
No, they take Trizla.
Okay, they take the Trizla, okay.
They take the Trizla. And maybe even ban a Diggy here. I know that I spoke about the Kaja and the Kufra, but have a... Alright. I don't know why they use Long though. I don't see any use of banning that use Long so far.
Well, again, you know, Diggy's kind of out of the picture for me. You already got the Feramis and Matilda here. So XP in the jungle. Really, you still want the Initiator, because you guys make a good point, right? You can't just let the Fanny be unleashed, you know, not really being bothered at all. You have the Minotaur, great, can work. There's an answer. Hey, just go for the old, you know, the old reliable.
The old reliable, all the way from M4. This hero's been meta for a whole year, dude. Even more than a year. It's been meta all throughout, ever since it's been released.
Fred is spelt with 4 letters, and there's another name also 4 letters, and it's one of your favorite words.
What is it?
Or one of your favorite names.
What is it?
That's Chad.
That's Chad right there. Yeah, I mean, here's a Chad. He walks up, and this is exactly what AP Bren need. A lot of mid-control with the Feramis and the Matilda. That's good wave clear. Utilize that to invade as early as possible. Take away that purple buff, because, sure, the main way to counter a Fanny's lockdown, but a better way to shut her down with taking that purple buff away. No purple, no problem. No need lockdown.
I gotta say, I am getting older, and my memory just not as the same as before. Not mentioning it. Look, I called for Nixia, I called for Trizla, so I'm good with what I did. But again, I kind of forgot actually about the Matilda and Feramis being locked down, and I was looking at the second phase of banning from Team Flash to look for like crowd control heroes or something. So banning the Baxia actually, and also the Yuzong, means that they had what they wanted in the first place. They didn't know, from my perspective at least, they didn't know what to ban except for those heroes that can at least annoy at some point.
Yeah, and with that, again, the problem to solve for the Fanny here. I think AP Brent can actually execute this well with the Fredrin locked in. You got the Pyramid. You got a with Matilda. So utility is going to be heavily in favor for them. Real quick, let's look at the team comparison here, Yasu.
Team Flash. For me, that's a team that should win with this draft. Like, for me, they won the draft. For Team A-Bren, yes, for sure, they have the hospital meta, they have the ambulance meta, if you want to say about, if you want to talk about it, but I wouldn't agree with them.
Well, agree or disagree. We're going to find out here as we get loaded into the land of Dawn. Game number 2 is match point for AP Bren against Team Flash. We'll see if Team Flash can turn it around here with the lineup that they've taken for this one. Again, Iksha could prove to be very worthy in this game and impactful if they're able to pull it off alongside the Fanny here for Hades.
Well, before we get into the action, I want to point out that any ultimate that Team AB Bren have, we will have a copy from it with Jay. So, ladies and gentlemen, you have, for me at least, a winning draft 100% win, at least for me.
Team Flash?
Yeah, Team Flash.
Okay, you're going with Team Flash. Your favorite Team Flash
All in,
lineup.
all in.
All in, 100%. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, he's going 100% in it. Emblems looking pretty good here too for both teams, obviously. A lot of tenacities as well for Team Flash. They're going to have to deal with some of this when they're already flickering out. So, you know, that's a small win for them. Can he actually get away from this? It should be fine, even though Lolzy's there. But this is kind of Ogren's job right now, right? Be a nuisance. Deal with this Fanny here.
Well, look. With the flicker earlier, oh, that's a good damage. But with the flicker earlier on, he should be punished, though.
Oh, Ogren's taking very low. Calteezy is actually a level down. Finally gets to level 4. It seems like despite Team Flash having a bit more damage to play with in the early stage, it's still AP Bren who have a little bit of a lead through the lane. I think farming has been pretty good for them. 45 gold lead. It's very small, can go back and forth. But even in that gold lane, Vanix is getting out-traded by Marco.
Seeing the Fanny again and again tells me that the early game will be for the favorite Team Flash, where Cutthroat comes in.
Good defensive there with the flicker. So Turtle's going to be up. They already got the information that Hades is going to be on the top side, so that is the go signal to start up that Turtle. You can already see it being worked on here by Calteezy.
Oh, a purple.
Rest of Team Flash, though, also trying to get a position. Ogwen just being a nuisance once again on around the purple buff. So trying to stall out Hades. This should just, once again, Turtle going to the hands of AP Bren here.
That was so close. It was a bit too close for comfort for the side of AP Bren. Adamir rotating over. Meanwhile, Ogwen trying to stop Hades from taking that purple buff, but he still had that red trait. So he picks it up for free. Turtle for purple.
Actually, at some point I was looking at Hades and neglecting the team fight. I thought that it's inevitable for Kyle to use his retribution. It was so risky, and I was actually kinda betting that Hades will not use his retribution, but after seeing Ogwen goes in, everything flipped around. If that happened, if that scenario in my head happened and took place, Team Flash would have went for the invade on the purple buff, and at this point, Fanny will be so far in lead when it comes to XP compared to the Fredrin.
Yeah, even with that, again, I think one of the biggest parts here for Team Flash and Hades in general is every Fanny's, obstacle is like, hold on, Flap though.
Oh, not able to find the kill. Flapteezy survives. Just with 1 HP. Meanwhile, there's a trade up top that AP Bren are trying to look for.
What?
What? I think he thought that Flap were to recall. That's why he didn't jump into the push. But hey, a turret is a turret. You get a lot of plating anyways here. Calteezy invades the other side of the map, trying to look for that mirror plane. Hades will just recall as Adamir proxies the wave.
Okay, so they're going to get a little bit of that gold to work around with on the bottom side, which does, keep things relatively even against AP Bren economy wise, and they're 30 seconds away from this turtle, so I feel like for Team Flash, they want to be able to get in a position to actually contest this, but this is what I was expecting. When that pressure was locked in, this is the pressure that Hades has to deal with here.
And look at the poke already to Lolzy. Calteezy should be able to last hit this, and he does. He finds a purple buff now. It's going to be Hades without a purple buff. AP Bren escaping. Calteezy re-engaging, getting a good taunt and an Appraiser's Wrath. One last hit despite the flicker. Calteezy stabs his way to the first kill in the game.
Controlling that purple buff is 101 how to counter a Fanny, and Calteezy has successfully got this mission right. AB Bren with 1.2k gold ahead. I wouldn't talk about the gold lead. I would just talk about Hades facing a hard time Flash team. And as we say, oh, that was so close. There is one more turtle, right? This is the second turtle for Team AB Bren, and they are getting ahead in the gold. But I saw something when we saw the emblems earlier on. Vanix is going for kinda tanky approach when it comes to emblem.
Yeah. I mean, kind of, in a way, he kind of has to, right? The thing about Ixchel, she's like a glass cannon. She's the epitome of a glass cannon, right? The way that works, you kind of have to be able to position yourself really well, and that's where you're relying on the team here, especially to find the setup potential for you. But, 5 minutes into the game, AB Bren having this 2K lead, they're playing like it too. They're continuously this side of the jungle of Team Flash.
Why are Hades the one controlling the bot lane though? Oh, it was cut it down. Wow, Adamir now needs to join. So, will there be a fight here?
Yep. Still able to escape with the wow.
Why?
No commitment for the side of Team Flash. Hesitating, maybe thinking that there's going to be a little bit more members around. Kyle just picks up the purple buff for free. There's not much Team Flash can do. And now even with the Appraiser's Wrath just used to poke, 100% win for Team Flash is not 100% so far.
Yeah, it's not looking like that. Still going to be putting the pressure in the mid lane. Again, a little trip around the circle heal. But look at the level gap, too, between the junglers. Kyle TZ 2 levels ahead right now of Hades. And that's, once again, how much pressure is being put here. Flap, get some information. He's going to go ahead and get back. But you can see the way that AB Bren is playing on the macro level here against what Team Flash is doing.
I kind of love what Flav is doing, actually controlling the lanes and also cutting them through for Team AB Bren. He's kind of annoying Team Flash at some point. They cannot do anything at this point when it comes to laning phase because Adamir completely neglects the bot lane, completely neglects the XP duties, and I cannot help but to wonder, Team Flash, they do have a winning draft. It is a 100% winning draft still for me, but they are not executing it as I imagined.
It's all about the execution, yeah?
Yeah.
Team Flash, with a 100% winning draft, their execution is not 100%. Yeah, nice.
That's the maths, right? That's simple maths right now. But, whoa, Vanix.
Is it at least 20% though, the execution?
I would give it 40%.
Ah, it's not bad.
Hey, Yasu, you're the analyst here, so whatever percentage you want to throw out, I'll at least be on board for now, right? So Super Marco picks up his Berserker's Fury. But this is my problem here with this. It's a low kill game. You've got a Fanny. You're supposed to be scaling really hard in the early game. Get these kills.
Please.
You don't have it though. And the game, look at this. Like, Hades can't even move around right now. So you're going to have to kind of default to usually what happens in this situation.
Vanix with the flicker, gets out Lolzy now, knocks Flap TZ out, but that's all he can do really. He just knocks him up for a bit, gives him a bit of airtime.
Okay, well, going back to it, you're going to get to a point here on Hades where you just kind of split push, right, and go for that, but mid lane.
Adamir with penalty zone, and that's going to be a full barrage in the back, but there's no flicker to help him get to the range. Now it's an Appraiser's Wrath, Tealing with another realm 8-3. The world is massive, and it gets to Adamir, canceling the recall. Hades recalling on the other side, and Kyle TZ is taking control. You know what they want to do. They want to go and steal that purple buff again. Meanwhile, Flap, completely different from game number 1.
You just experienced how this draft can work. If he just had that flicker Vanix, he could have easily swept Team AB Bren down. But yet, again, as you said, Naisu, and this is the point I kind of forgot to point out here. Fanny in the early game, you have it. Late game damage, you have it with the Ixia. Crowd control and setups, you have it with the Minotaur and the Terizla. Stealing all these good ultimates, you have it with the Valentino. What else do you need?
Right now, a purple buff right now. What they need for sure. Hades is going to get stunned up completely, and yeah, that early game to mid game completely neutralized because the steals continue to happen. And well, Yasu pointed out earlier, without the flicker, that 100% turns to 0% for Vanix.
Yeah. I mean, with that, anytime you pick up any of these heroes that really require that purple buff, it's kind of a disaster when you don't get it for this long, right? Like, what can you do? Yes, you see Hades putting the pressure there, looking for that tier 1 on the bottom side, but that's ultimately another objective going to the hands of AP Bren here, and the rest of the team really trying to work it out. One thing that I will say for Team Flash is at least Vanex, for the most part, has tried to farm up. He is gapped in comparison to Super Marco, but hey, he hasn't died, neither has Adamir, right? Hades has just been flying around, so there might be a point in this game where Team Flash can make their way back. Again, we saw the opposite happen in the previous game of 7K difference for AP Brent.
Oh, Owen was about to follow him all the way to the base there. But it decides to come back out there just to utilize the Lord a bit more efficiently. And they're going to try to crack open the tier 2s in the mid lane first with the Bruno helping out. Calatizi trying to zone Team Flash away from that tier 2 in the mid lane. But they'll say, you know what, we'll just control the bottom lane first. Super Marco gets a free turret, and then they utilize another wave here with a built-up slow push with the Lord pushing up top. Incredible wave manipulation by AP Bren. That's the last tier 2 turret taken down by the Winions. AP Bren now looking for the base. The base turret in the top side going to be targeted down. Jay with a good terrify onto Owen. That's a splash as well from the base turret. Lolzy jumps in but gets knocked up. Now it's another realm defensively. Adamir, that's a defensive penalty zone to defend the base. And now it's going to be Jay. What? He just gets taken out, disappearing in an instant. You blink and you miss it.
Yeah, that's the price. These are the coincident. Oh my God, this
Consequences.
is consequences.
There it is.
That you have to
100%.
face.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Oh, no!
Not anymore.
100%! Lolzy
Not
taking
anymore.
down Vanix. Running for the hills. Adamir just looking for a play. Hades does no damage. The full barrage does
Vanix.
no damage. Even with the flinker, it's still not 100. Adamir flickers backwards, and now AP Brenner doing whatever they want.
Yeah, releasing some pressure. That's the only thing Hades can do at this point by taking and making those split pushes possible. Team Flash, nothing at this point. Give me even the courage to say 20% winning chance.
Now it's 20.
Now it's down. We went from 120 here, Yasu. Well, again, hey, look at it this way. There's 0-0-0 across the board for him, Adamir, and Vanix, right?
Oh, yeah.
Can they keep it together and actually turn something around? Well, at this point, it's looking really dire. I don't even know 20% at this point because, you know, AP Bren, with this lineup that they have, and the fact that they can extend some of these team fights with the Netherrealm, that's the biggest issue. I mean, even this, Oakland just taking a trip, you know?
He outtrades the assassin.
That shouldn't happen.
He's enjoying. But looking at the items that just like disappear right now, there was some semi items or like half items from the side of from Kyle, and he managed now to at least complete 2 of them, which is one of them is the cursed. What happened? What did I miss?
No, it's just the fact that the rover deals more damage than the assassin.
It's weird.
Yeah, and you know what also is weird for me? This draft not winning. But anyways, let's go.
We're still on that.
Yeah, I cannot get past that because it stick to me right now. You guys like pinned it to me, 100, 100, 100 all over the game. So Team Flash at this point, what can they do? What can they do is one good setup. Actually, yeah, one good setup can make a solid defense, and having that Netherrealm stolen from you can make that defense possible for Team Flash.
Oh man, I also a believer in one good setup, but in this situation, you're 12K behind at the 13-minute mark, man, and your gold laners, that's like 4,000 gold behind.
Yeah, it's,
you know,
how many items are those? Like 2 items more?
1.5 maybe.
Yeah.
1 point. I'm not good with numbers. Hades.
Me neither.
Okay.
I'm not good with numbers too.
Now, AP Brenner just utilizing the number of games that they have. A 12,000 gold lead that's completely built up. It seems like Team Flash, they have no way to defend. Even this baser in the mid lane, Hades has fast hands, but what can they do with this? Vanix playing the back, that's Adamir, who jumps in the back as well. Owen provides the proper support. Super Marco has the win of nature. That just might be it. No! They win the fight, but in the end, it's 4-0. They didn't even let Team Flash get a kill in game number 2. Complete domination from the Hive.
Get a dominating here performance for AP Bren, the Filipino champions here. Just unstoppable, it looked like in this series.
Oh my god, things are not looking good at all for Team Flash at this point. They will wait until tomorrow They will wait until they see Lil Gun in this group. AB Brent controls their fate right now, and right now they will just give those fist bumps to show some sportsmanship.
Again, a performance here in a way for AP Bren that, game two, man, they just flipped the script and they just came out swinging. It was a strong showing, but let's go ahead and throw it over to Mangine to talk to AP Bren for the victory.
Congratulations to the Hive, AP Bren. Hello guys, hello. You guys managed to pull off English to. All right, I forgot they're Filipinos. Come on, clap your hands. The Filipino supporters. All right, so naka-comeback kayo. Yan ha, Tagalog to ha. Naka-comeback kayo. Actually, yung game number 1, naka-comeback kayo. You did a comeback in game number 1. How did you manage to pull that off?
We just waited for the enemy's error. So we maximize their error and punish them in their own state.
Pwede ka mag-Tagalog na try.
Yun.
You can speak in Tagalog, Ogwen, and you will translate in English. Okay? Okay, good. Okay. So you waited for the error. Okay, were you guys surprised with the Louis pick of Team Flash? Sino pwede sumagot?
Yes.
Yes, why?